Alright, so welcome back. I guess this will be part 4 of the Pixel Gun Let's Play. I'm going to do Farm Assault next. By the end of that, I kind of forgot that I was supposed to end the video, but, whatever. So, here's the farm. A lot simpler, too. And they come out of the trees. But this is before they added too many invisible barriers and just naturally blocked you off with trees instead, so you could go back there kinda. You also move a lot faster when you're shooting. I think there was also a glitch you could get up the stairs, but there's nothing up there, of course. But it was weird just the amount of detail that they put into some places. Like, this changed from, like, 3 beds and a bunch of boarded up windows to your noob's room or whatever, newbie. That's just his name in the skin editor, so I guess that's who you play as. But anyway, doesn't look like there's anybody online. At least not currently, except for me. But they do have servers running, so you can. Now, obviously, I like the part where you shoot the zombies the best, but the amount of, like, crazy locations and guns they had was the biggest selling point to me, aside from the crazy worlds and, just the amount of content, as well as it, being free and being Minecraft. The whole thing here is just a absolutely great time. It's a bit simple, but I like simple shit, so fuck it, why not? In the words of, I don't know, one country singer who I used to hear on the radio too much, "Why'd you have to go and make things so complicated? I see the way you're acting like you're somebody else and make me so frustrated." Stuff like that. Just keep it simple, stupid. Shoot the zombie with the gun and then he dies. You want to make it more complicated, just make Pixel Gun 2. There they go. I'll probably check that when it comes out, or maybe a bit after, once they fix all the bugs, because nobody seems to be able to get their launches right anymore. Like, we got all this crazy technology, and you're telling me we can't launch a game without it breaking? Makes for funny entertainment. Kind of makes me want to just play the versions of the game that's not working, so I can just get more fun out of that than any boring game they would be able to make instead. Because, hey, that's the game they spent years making. They put it in the oven, right? Oh, yeah. Let's wait till, like, Pixel Gun 2 comes out. It looks like a Gary's mod map with missing textures or something. You'll see. But, yeah. Apparently, that distinction between Cubic Games and Realisoft, there was like some sort of hostile takeover around like 2016, 2017, which is why they kept adding all this more money-grubbing shit throughout. And then 2018 comes along and they start mass banning people because the game is just becoming way too grindy. And 2018 was about where I quit because they banned me. Presumably because of the mass ban wave. Now, I was able to contact support, and apparently they must have understood it was a false ban, like I didn't even know what I'd done. But, the likes of Exotic Gaming as well, who was a YouTuber I used to watch a lot, and I've recently gotten back into watching, because he does just general mobile games now. Him and a lot of others got banned, and it was basically like a breaking point, where most people just said, fuck this game, they don't even want us playing anyway, so we're leaving, and then Pixel Strike comes out, or is otherwise in development, and then gets to a polished state a few years later. And I think most people jump ship to that in Fortnite and Overwatch. A lot of people will say it's because of that. It's like, no, Pixel Gun, if they had continued doing their job properly, nobody would have had any problem at all. Nobody would have looked at this shit too critically. Because it's a game where you're in a block world and shooting monsters with guns. If you do your job right, nobody will know you've done anything at all. Clearly they didn't do it right, because, well, here I am playing an old version of the game that should be, by all accounts, worse in every regard, but it just isn't. Because it's still, you know, a functioning game, for one, that isn't pay to win. It's like, oh, nothing in life is free. Yeah, sure, and people who talk in metaphors ought to shampoo my crotch. Nothing in life's free. You ain't looking in the right places, dog. This was free, and I'm telling you, it still is. They've just abandoned it, so it's like kind of hard to come by. Like, it's not openly out there. If you can look for it, you will find it. And so I did. And this doesn't require an online DRM, it doesn't require any of that crap, it just works. It's functional. What a crazy thought, right? You just, you know, boot up a game, and it works. I know, guys. We can't have a game that works. Well, you can have my game, obviously. That one's free. I think Pixel Gun was really ahead of the curve in that regard, where they just make the game free, and then, like, you know, it works, it's fun. Then eventually it turns to shit. But, hey, you know, maybe stop before it turns to shit, if that makes sense. You could always do a sequel. Just keep the old one intact, and people will buy it still. They'll give you money. Oh, but we don't want the new one to compete with the old one. So you don't want any money? You could just keep the old one up. Unless you've set it up in a way that requires you to do more bitch work to keep it up. Such as, oh yeah, putting it on Steam. That's a great idea, right? That's why if I do Rogue Planet 2, probably no Steam. Gotta be real with you, Steam was a terrible waste of money. I had to pay money for nobody to play my fucking game. Why would I go with them again? It's a bad deal. Oh, because you use Steam? Well, Steam also uses you. It's a piece of spyware, and you don't own the games you buy, so why would I put it on a platform where you don't own it if you have to buy it? I mean, hell, if I sold you a car, you wouldn't want me to just repossess it after an undisclosed amount of time because a company said so. It'd make for good business, don't get it wrong, but that's theft. You know, if I sold you a cup, I think that cup's yours. I think that mug is yours. And it wouldn't be appropriate for me as a person who makes a mug or cup, or any kind of product to come back and, you know, just steal it from you when I feel like it. It's very emotion-focused. It's not very, you know, pragmatic. It's not practical. You could just take the old Microsoft approach or the old Nintendo approach of, you know, if you have the game, you buy it. I mean, you do so at your own risk, you know, use it, whatever. But it's as is. It's done. We're not going to update the shit. We're not going to take it from you. If you purchased it, you purchased it. If you can't get it anymore, then, well, tough. But I think more and more people are going back to the Xbox 360 because they're realizing, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have to wait in an arbitrary, imaginary line just to be able to have a modicum of fun that I could have more of somewhere else and for a lot cheaper. That's why I ain't fucking around with Steam anymore, at least not as much as I used to. And I highly recommend a lot of other people don't, or at least do so in moderation. Because, yeah, you know, Gabe Newell, that guy, well, that dude's a piece of shit. And, so is his service. Yeah, the amount of times that Team Fortress 2 and Counter-Strike have been screwed over alone, not to mention Half-Life. Let's say if you're like me, you actually wanted to play Half-Life Source, and not the shitty Black Mesa remake that changed way too much. Yeah, you know, if you want to actually just use Half-Life Source, no thanks. You're not allowed to do that anymore. Why? Because we delisted it and made it hard to find. Oh, great. So now I can't even get new players either. Oh, well, it was bad. Okay. Well, I'll be the judge of that, not Valve. I mean, in the case of Left 4 Dead, I don't see why they charge separately for that if it's just, you know, a modicum of the same game as Left 4 Dead 2. And I mean that quite literally, because they just put the first game and mutators into the second. So you could just straight up have that, and then install a few workshop mods and you're done. This is the coolest map in the old Pixel Gun. But yeah, like, if you're going to have a digital option, maybe don't sabotage it as well. And Pixel Gun here doesn't. You know why? Because they're not tied to any store. It's just an EXE. If you look at being loyal to a place, a tool, you know, you're going to be disappointed. Also, this is before they added the hurting effect on the cactus. But the thing about it is, if you look at these pieces of software as something more than they are, you got to learn that there's a fine line between your software and you controlling your software and your software controlling you. It's an ends to a means. Is it more effective? Is it more efficient? And is it better to have the software break inexplicably if you don't have an internet connection, which isn't even required? It's just done so they can spy on you. Valve Anti-Cheat spies on you. It knows what applications you're running at all times. So does Steam. Why do you think they switched over to Firefox? So they could spy on you more easily. Simple as that. And if you don't know why spying and all of this spyware is harmful, it's because it makes a profile of you without your knowledge, without your consent, and even if you think you're innocent, well, it doesn't matter, because they have all this data to incriminate you with now. Data which is not, you know, lawfully gathered. As, you know, the likes of Edward Snowden would say, you know, not everything needs to be recorded. You know, if there's no privacy, then there's no security. If there's no security, well, then, you know, feel free to tell me what your credit card is. Oh, well, you're not concerned about your privacy. Well, then just tell me what your password is to your Gmail. Tell me what your computer password is. Go ahead, and I'll wait. Shit like that. Well, if you're not concerned about your privacy, then you know, you wouldn't have a problem saying that. I'm not saying to do that naturally, but that's the point. That shouldn't even be a dichotomy that happens, period, in legitimate software, but, you know, you find out this kind of shit when they take something away that you like. It doesn't affect you until it does. Now, I'm a supporter of the Stop Killing Games initiative by Accursed Farms, but honestly, if that fails, I mean, they kind of had it coming. Because the games that don't do this shit will be the only ones that are left, meaning that what choice are you going to have once they kill your favorite game? Unless they act right. You're going to have basically nowhere near as much as you think you do, because they're going to have extorted you. It's blackmail. It's nothing more. But it was fun. Yeah, the game was fun, but it was also extortion. And, you know, last time I checked, extortion is not legal in the United States of America, which is primarily where these companies do business, but it's a video game, so no one gives a shit, or it's a piece of software, so you can't hold it in your hand and physically look at it, so no politician gives a shit. No authority figure who could do a thing or two actually cares, because it's not in their hands, you know, in the physical world. See, with a disc like an Xbox 360 disc or game, or a PlayStation 3 game, sure, it's there in some regard, but not every one of them was. I mean, most of them were. Mostly because companies knew, oh yeah, people have no internet, or otherwise have very shitty internet. If not for that, you know, if not for that sort of hurdle, I don't think a lot of companies would have gone ahead with that. And it really only took until about 2019, maybe COVID, for internet shit to have to really get good. Well, you mentioned COVID, you get a cough. Hail Hydra. Anyway. And, the biggest reason why I've gone back to Pixel Gun is, if not for Pixel Gun, I wouldn't have gotten into making games, because I saw this exact kind of digital fascism thing that's happened to a lot of games now happen on a more micro scale with mobile games. So many mobile games just have a stigma of, well, it sucked anyway, so who cares? Well, I cared. This is a cool map. This is a fun game. Oh, just because it was a mobile game, it wasn't worth it? Okay, well, I mean, by that logic, if it's on a computer, it's not worth it. They're both computers. Oh, just because it's on a console, it wasn't worth it. No, it's still a computer. You treat the thing differently because it has a different user interface or a different set of hardware. That's kind of stupid. Oh, it's in a different box, so therefore it's different. Not particularly, it's just the shape in which it comes in. Ultimately, the shit is still the same. Intel, AMD, or CPUs, all the same shit. But no, let's completely discredit this hypothetical situation because it happened to mobile games. Well, companies got so comfortable doing this in mobile games for years that once it spread to computers and consoles like a virus, because it basically is, by all definitions, you know, the ones that make sense, off it goes. It's a virus that became accepted in people's minds because of just how many companies decided to do it and how much production value they put behind it. Yeah, well, you can put billions of dollars behind telling me to jump off a bridge. Do you think I want to do that? No. I just want to play the game where I shoot things. Maybe we can cut the part where you tell me to jump off a bridge. Just cut that out, because that's kind of disturbing. Speaking of, there's the well. Anyway. I'll jump down the well, or you die. I believe there was an out-of-bounds spot somewhere over here. This is also really old Unity. So, the lighting and shading is not too far off from a game like Doom 3. As you'll notice, there's not exactly bloom. There are a few lens flares. It's very basic. But they use the engine's shortcomings with lighting kind of to their advantage. Like a lot of the blurry shadows, it all looks blurry. It's all fucking pixelated, but see, that helps it. Helps it not look too terrible. But the part that really fucked this whole game over was when they just put their foot down and shot it repeatedly. Again and again and again. They burned so many bridges that eventually it made sense why competition took over. It's not that Minecraft or army games where you shot each other have ever stopped being popular, because they still are. It's that they literally took bam, bam, and alienated enough people with a pain tolerance test until they just said, get a grip, and left. If not for Pixel Gun doing basically genocide, wanton destruction of, art and different versions with updates that are supposed to, seemingly magically be better, they wouldn't have even had this wave of people who are nostalgic for a time when shit worked and made a modicum of sense. Not that it was perfect, not that it was, the best thing in the world since sliced bread. The biggest reason why I personally like Windows 8 is because it's simple, and it's a lot more stable than Windows 7. Windows 7 and XP get touted as this magical operating system that worked super well, And I don't know what the fuck computers people were using, because it wasn't doing any of that on mine. The best thing I got was a blue screen of death after 20 minutes. I got blinding white and blue constantly. It was super disorienting to fucking use. And then Windows 8 came along and was actually kind of nice looking. It didn't look so, bright and colorful and distracting and transparent. Like, I don't really give a shit about these transparency effects. Can I just focus on the thing in front of me and it work? I used to be kind of against the flat design for a lot of years, but I couldn't really put my finger onto why. But now looking back at Arrow, it's like there was a better halfway point. It's called Fruitiger Metro. Why not just take the better elements of both of these, mix them together, so you have flat art, but with a bunch of crazy shit, but not having it be so bright and glassy and like, to the point where it borderlines on Michael Bay or J.J. Abrams. That would be pretty cool. But, yeah, Windows 11 is just going into the more, like, it straight up is reminiscent of a Chinese spyware program or McAfee. Funnily enough, it verbatim just took the same exact style as DeepinOS. And if you're unaware what DeepinOS is, it is a Chinese Linux knockoff of Windows 10 designed for the Chinese market, because the copyright laws over there are basically fucking none, or otherwise not taken very seriously. Thus you have all kinds of companies who, on Amazon and wherever else, selling, creating knockoff like Xbox controllers and other products. Temu is a great example. But the thing is, American qualities of manufacturing have gone down the toilet so bad that, the thing about it is a lot of it's the same shit from China, verbatim. It's just if you order it from Temu, it's like $10 or $20 cheaper. And it smells funky, but otherwise, hey, that's how I get a PlayStation 4 controller. So that's all the cooperative maps. I'm going to go to Deathmatch. We'll see if there's anyone on here. Let's see if there's anyone in the servers. I'll do another part on that and continue my lovely tirade about Temu and other shit. I'll probably also get to doing more Rogue Planet 2 at some point. It's just taking a while because life's been super busy since the summer, and I don't have as much time to be on the computer, so fuck it, I might as well play a game or two, just to get it off of mind. But anyway, I will return. Rogue Planet 2 will also return, if it hasn't by the time of this. For those wondering why some of the dialogue and other shit might be a bit weird on the channel, I've recently started just scheduling one part at a time, and that seems to work, the daily uploads. So what I do with Let's Plays is I just record them basically all in the same sitting, but schedule them one part at a time, and that seems to keep the audiences satisfied. That seems to work a lot better for the YouTube algorithm. I got way more fucking subscribers doing that, so thank you. And it's also just a lot easier to make, and with video game commentary, sometimes you just find that the best part is not exactly being too thoughtful. You just have fun playing a game. Just say what comes to mind. Naturally, as long as you're not saying Illuminati confirmed and Hail Hydra too much, or other unpleasantries. Those are just memes. But if you don't say the other shit, the likes of Filthy Frank and whoever would, I think we're fine, and I think I'm fine. So anyway, I'll screw around with Pixel Guns some more. I'm fucking tired. Cool game. If you can check it out, version 3.6 by Dylan K and 55AR. Take care. Goodbye.